The first beer I remember loving would be the Boulevard Wheat.
Really?
Boulevard Wheat, and then Boulevard Nutcracker is actually the one that broke the beer gates wide open.
Okay, I have not tried Boulevard Nutcracker. The first beer I remember really liking was a Michelob Dark.
Okay.
It was like a just a fucking Michelob, but it was like some kind of dark version of it. I don't remember it being a stout. I don't remember really anything else about it because I was probably 11 or 12. But the one thing you folks will learn about me is I started my drinking journey very young. We haven't talked about pill bottles and Crown Royal. We haven't talked about that yet, or Energizer soda. One day we'll get to that, I'm sure. But or Energizer Cola, whatever it was I was calling it. But yeah, Michelob Dark was the first beer I remember really enjoying, and the second one was Bud Ice. Do you remember Bud Ice?
I do remember Bud Ice.
Yeah, I remember seeing the commercials with the penguins on it, and what?
That's terrible.
Oh, you don't like Bud Ice?
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. What's wrong with Bud Ice?
Well, I mean, it falls in that category of sex in a canoe.
Okay.
It's
What?
fucking close to water.
Okay. It's fucking close to water. It was 0.5 alcohol. It was like
Exactly.
it was a high fucking close to water.
And so,
I mean, you say it's fucking close to water, like that's Coors Light, like the official beer of early corn career. Like if you watch those Who Then Now video,
I think
way
the
back
Bud
when.
Ice. I think the Bud Ice is even lower than.
I mean, they were
Coors
penguins,
Light.
and there was water all around. It was seawater, and it was snow and sledding, or whatever it was that they were doing. Yeah, all right. Well, I remember liking it a lot. Again, I was probably 11 or 12, but I remember liking it, and I remember a 40. The first time I had a 40, I was walking into a grocery store in Raytown, John's Apple Market at the time, and I remember thinking like, I feel fucking tipsy. This is what it's like. And my dad was like, well, you're not drunk. Don't act drunk. And I'm like, I'm not drunk, but I've been drinking, Dad. And it was good times. I think he drove my car to there or whatever, but whatever. But yeah, I probably didn't have good influences growing up, now that I think about it. What'd you call it? Canoe? What? What was the term? I know it was fucking close to water, but it was
close to water.
What was it? Canoe beer?
Now you confuse me. What did I say?
No, there was a term for it, but the definition is what killed me. It was canoe sex? Canoe sex.
Sex in a canoe.
Sex in a canoe.
It's fucking close to water.
Whew, that's good.
And back to Carl and his mother's milk.
Mother's milk. Man, as long as he doesn't find... Yeah, right. As long as he doesn't find mother's milk in a canoe. Canoe, mother, water, sex, not good. Equals bad camping trip.
Or good, I guess, depending on how you...
If you're south of the Arkansas border, no offense to Arkansas. Whew, it's not us, it's the whiskey speaking. Whew, good. Ness.
Hey, before we get out of here, though, so we had 3 different drinks. What was your favorite tonight?
Well, I think favorite was the Von Payne's, just because it was so different. It was so it caught me way off guard. Like I thought maybe I knew what I was expecting. What I was expecting was something more whiskey, more bourbon-esque, if that's a term to use.
Sure.
But it turned out to be a very fruity, sweet, not so harsh brandy-ish kind of thing. Brandy has a bit of a maple flavor to it, from what I've tried, but this was very fruit forward, light on the oaky. Like on the back end, there was a light oakiness to it. It caught me off guard in a very wonderful way. Second was the Yellowstone, Kentucky
Really?
straight
Okay.
bourbon. I know your favorite was the Widow Jane 10-year straight bourbon whiskey.
Well, and the interesting thing is, so earlier I said, yeah, the Widow Jane was my favorite, but now that we've made the current
The old fashioned.
this was absolutely my favorite. This was
Okay.
fantastic.
Okay.
I cannot wait to make another one.
Yeah.
In fact, as we've been sitting here talking, I've
You-
wandered over and
you
made
have.
myself another one.
I've watched you wander with your 25-foot cord and held down microphone duties. Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's the I really enjoyed the Von Payne by itself, but putting it in a cocktail with a few other flavors and give it a little bit more complexity
Right.
to it, it really that's what brought it to life.
Okay.
I love the Widow Jane as a neat by itself. It had a lot of complex flavors that kind of added up to its compound. But yeah, the Von Payne makes a great cocktail.
I no arguments for me. No arguments for me. It's
and
really good.
And we did the old fashioned based off of the recipe off their website. What I'm kind of curious to do and to experiment with is how would this translate to a whiskey sour or another variation, another cocktail.
I'm interested to try it.
So,
And really, this it wasn't 100% based off of the website recipe, because we
yeah, we
had,
changed it a little bit.
because you did the dehydrated orange slice, not orange peel. The smashed bada bing cherry, we are unclear as to what a bada bing cherry is, but we had the Woodford
Bada
Reserve.
bing!
Bada bing. We had
Honestly, I'm to me, or at least my translation of that is a bada bing cherry is a
Bing cherry.
mulled in the glass versus a machino cherry,
Okay.
which is kind of I think machino cherries are a little candied.
yeah.
To me, that's speaking to a fresh cherry versus a canned cherry. We use the Woodford Reserve barrel-aged cherries, which you can't argue with. Those are just so fantastic on their own.
So good. So good. Yeah. So it almost sounds like we took the recipe from the Von Payne website and mixed it with the reverse engineered recipe from West Bottom's Whiskey Company for their old fashioned, world's best or world's greatest old fashioned, and turn it into the Savor the Burn version of an old fashioned featuring Von Payne Black whiskey.
I like it.
So this makes me think, and I think we've touched on it before. I know we've touched on it before. We should maybe toy around with the idea of coming up with our own recipes and maybe even publishing a recipe book at some point in the future.
That's a great idea.
I think that sums it up quite nicely. I like it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.